live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Anyway, yeah.
All right. You ever heard that term, idle time is the devil's playground?
Listen.
Now
I have heard that term. Look, yeah. I've had to fight that, in fact,
right.
in this quarantine right. that we're in. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, it appears that this quarantine has everyone going mad. Yeah. Not excluding NFL players. So this past Saturday, 4 NFL players were arrested.
4 y'all. 1,
4 y'all.
2, 3, 4.
Now, you know, it wouldn't be right unless a Washington Redskin player got arrested. So Cody Latimer.
I had to send that to you. You know that, like.
Yes. Was booked on charges of assault in the 2nd degree, menacing, illegal discharge of a firearm, and prohibited use of a weapon, reckless endangerment. Seahawks cornerback and Giants cornerback, Seahawks cornerback Quentin Dunbar, who used to be a Redskin, Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker, both turned themselves over on arrest warrants for robbery charges.
Yep.
And Ed Oliver, which if any of you had known about Ed Oliver when he came out of the University of Houston, one of the knocks on him was that he might be a bit of a troublemaker.
Yep.
And so he was booked on charges of DWI and unlawful possession of a weapon. It doesn't say what the weapon was. I'm assuming that it was a pistol or was a firearm.
Who knows?
Unless he just was in his car with a machete.
Machete.
Or something like that.
Who knows?
Yeah. So
all of it's stupid. How about that?
What do you think? Because NFL players get arrested. You know, it's not like it doesn't happen. But to see 4 in one day, I don't think you've ever seen that.
And if I'm not mistaken, the 2 cornerbacks, were they not? What did you say that? Were they arrested for robbery?
They were, yeah, robbery.
You
in Florida.
You playing the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Your base check looks like something that most people will never see.
Some of y'all, your base check looks like something that people won't even make in their lifetime.
So I'm trying to understand what you needed that you felt like you had to point a weapon, because that's
what the
robbery
says. Mm-hmm.
Point a weapon at somebody
mm-hmm.
in order to get it. So go ahead.
Let's add a little bit of context to this.
Please, because I'm so lost.
Because there's one thing to just stroll up on somebody and do an armed robbery and just take what they have. And
yeah.
This all started from a card game. I don't know exactly
right.
what they were playing, but I believe it was poker.
They were playing poker.
And I believe the pair lost $70,000.
And again,
the prior night. Then they decided they wanted to come back and play again.
So if you take your broke tail home,
mm-hmm.
tuck your tail and just go home. If you don't. I guess my thing is this. I understand how it happened, mm-hmm. but it's still the same concept that you took something from somebody, that you attempted to take something that didn't belong to you.
Right.
And if you was put on your big boy pants and you went and sat at this table where you were willing to lose $70,000 between the two of you, then you just gotta eat it, because it is what it is.
Yeah. And then y'all gonna go home in Benzes and Lamborghinis. Like ain't nobody gonna find y'all. But
The
I
fact
hear
that you drove off in a Benz after trying to be pissed at somebody that you lost $70,000 just sounds so ludicrous. It don't even make. This is just, to me, what has happened with these 4 individuals in one day being arrested is a direct result of the lack of true understanding of what's happening to you at that level.
Yeah.
You still have a mentality like for most of them when they probably didn't have anything. And the bigger thing to me is that you don't recognize that there's a certain responsibility and as a professional athlete that comes where you don't get to do what other people do. You don't get to act like, nobody should be acting that way, but you definitely, listen, you've been blessed with an opportunity that comes to so few people. And for you to be still using, I don't know another way to put it, Jarrett, I hate to use this terminology, but for you to still be in hood mentality.
Okay, so, and this is kind of an issue that you and I have talked about before, as far as coaching and the leadership that some of these guys get coming up, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a coach in your life as a little league player, middle school, high school player who is going to hold you accountable for your actions, and they only think about the production that you're going to give them on the field, that directly correlates to you believing that you could go rob someone and not be arrested for your crime. Because I'm sure a lot of these guys, now I can't speak to Quentin Dunbar and DeAndre Baker specifically, but that mindset is running rampant in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
And the reality
it's an entitlement.
is they are entitled.
It's an entitlement.
They don't look at it,
right.
They don't look at it as this is a blessing. They look at it, I'm supposed to be here, which I feel like on some levels you have to have that belief in yourself. But on other levels, if you believe that you are entitled to this life, you are entitled to be in the NFL because of your skill, because of all the things that you may have had to overcome to get there, then they're not going to look at something like pulling a gun on an automatic weapon is what it was.
Jesus, y'all trying to, okay.
Right. Okay. They're not thinking to themselves that this is wrong and I could really get into some trouble with it. And imagine if, and we don't know the entire facts, so I don't want to cast too much judgment on them, but I'm really speaking to just more or less the mindset.
That's the part that I have a problem with. Like, it's the mindset.
Right.
That you still continue to think that, and I get what you're saying about having coaches that hold you accountable, and not just coaches, your family, people in your life, period, people who are of influence in your life, holding you accountable to your actions, and say that is that's where the entitlement comes from. There's also this other part of you, I guess it's I don't know, it's when do you say that isn't the mentality or the way I want to live anymore?
I think for a lot of them, they're so far gone, there has to be something drastic for you to see, like, okay, I need to do something different. Like, who did we do Onto the Real for last week?
Oh, Maurice Claret.
Maurice Claret. Yeah. Now, that mindset had to change for something drastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
And I'm pretty sure that he was one of those guys where his talent was so exceptional that he was allowed to get away with a lot of stuff.
Well, y'all do, listen, any coaches, any parents, Anybody who's of influence in these, especially, let me just say, for these young Black men who are so super talented, who have such a gift from God of athleticism, that you know they've got potential to be great. You're doing them a disservice by allowing them to continue on in whatever fashion they are, just to not rock the boat, or to not be afraid, or being afraid that once they do make it, they won't take you with them because you aren't, or you the coach and you just want to use what they got instead of, like, that doesn't make sense to me from my core. It doesn't make sense to me because I don't understand how I want you to be the best version of yourself when you get to be the best version of yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you get to that place of purpose where you're supposed to be, I want you to be the best version of you. So whatever it takes in order to get you there, that's what we need to do. And if you don't like me for it, I'm going to be okay with that, because I know at the end of the day, I can go to sleep. Because I did what was right for you.
The player ends up being a representation of you, good or bad, on or off the field.
Exactly. I mean, and I know sometimes they do stupid stuff. I get it. But these particular situations to me represent what we're talking about. Everybody make dumb decisions. That's not what we're talking about. Like, it's somebody whose parents are great and whose coaches were amazing, and they'll still go make a dumb decision. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these people, and I don't know these kids' parents. I don't, but I have a feeling. We talking about situations where they just have not been checked, period. You haven't been checked. And so you feel like everything that you go after should be yours. No. I don't like to lose. Well, get used to it.
Right.
I'm just saying. Like, anyway, you know, we just got through, before we started, y'all heard us say we talked for 30 minutes before that. My passion for seeing young African-American men, African-American men, period. I don't care if you 80. If you're willing to change, or you willing to learn, or you willing to grow, I'm all there for it.
Right.
And I want to see that that's like what I want to see happen. And that is where my passion real talk, it is where my real true passion in this lies.
Yeah.
So sorry, I get way too crunk about it.
That's good. You know, so we just pray that, you know, all of you, the four of you, and anyone else out there who is thinking about doing something stupid. Before
you do it, think. I'm gonna just give this advice. If you out there and you're listening and you feel like, you know, you can do, say, go, be anything at any time, you're wrong. There are boundaries that you personally need to put up for yourself to be a good person. You need to know that, especially as a Black man, there are boundaries that are put up for you, whether you like it or not, whether you want them or not, that are beyond your control. And so that requires you to be exceptional. In every area of your life, not just your ability to play a sport or whatever you do, your singing, your rap, whatever you do, that is not the total sum of who you are, nor is it the total sum of what people see of you. And so you have a responsibility.
Definitely.
When you're in the position that these young men were in, you have a responsibility.
You're in the spotlight.
You have, and let me say, because now that collegiate athletes are going to be able to get paid for their likeness, we'll see more things even in the college ranks. because they'll be out there more. You'll be more known, basically. And so because of that, you got to take on some social responsibility about who you are and how you carry yourself.
Right.
Period. You asked for it. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
You asked for it.
You got to take everything that comes with it.
When you make that decision, and that's the direction you're going to go with your life, you asked for it. So you need to be
everything that comes with it.
Everything that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm done. Yeah. Sorry. I had the mama moment. All right.
But we certainly pray that, you guys learn your lesson from this, and there doesn't have to be some other catastrophic situation that happens.
Jesus, and I hope that Lord, learn the lesson, please. You're right, Jarrett. Learn the lesson. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.